My name is Edward and this is Fast News of the Day. 1. European spacecraft embarks on mission to explore Jupiter's moons. The European space probe JUICE has been launched to explore the environment of Jupiter and its 3 moons, equipped with research instruments, including 2 made by the Polish company Reactor Instrument. The spacecraft took off from French Guiana and it is a mission led by the European Space Agency. The JUICE mission aims to detect whether there are oceans of liquid water beneath the icy surfaces of Ganymede, Europa, and Callisto, as scientists have theorized. This exciting mission is scheduled to arrive at Jupiter in 2029 and continue its research until 2031, with a budget of approximately €1.6 billion. 2. Finland launches largest nuclear reactor in Europe. After 14 years of delays, Finland has finally launched the largest nuclear reactor in Europe and the 3rd largest in the world, named OL3. With a capacity of 1600 megawatts, it is located on Olkiluoto Island, in the Gulf of Bothnia, and covers 15% of the country's electricity consumption, while the entire power plant covers 30%. OL3 is the 3rd and final reactor at this power plant, and is expected to be operational for 60 years. This is a pressurized water reactor, built by a French-German consortium at a cost of €8 billion, while its estimated cost was €3 billion. Finland has another nuclear power plant in Loviisa, which generates 10% of the country's electricity demand. Previously, the largest nuclear power plant in Europe was the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant in Ukraine, which is currently under Russian control. Although Ukraine was unable to regain control of the power plant from the Russians, according to the Ukrainian National Resistance Center, the occupiers are preparing an evacuation plan. As reported by the World Nuclear Association, there are currently 437 operational reactors worldwide with a combined capacity of nearly 394 gigawatts electrical. There are also 60 reactors under construction, with a capacity of almost 62 gigawatts, 18 of which are being built in China. As of 2022, 204 reactors have been shut down, including 5 this year. In 2022, 8 new projects were started and 6 units were connected to the power grid. 3. The impact of nuclear power plant shutdowns on pollution and emissions. In staying on the topic of nuclear energy, it must be said that American scientists from Massachusetts Institute of Technology have calculated that shutting down all 92 nuclear power plants in the United States would worsen pollution, resulting in 5,000 deaths per year. According to them, renewable energy sources are still insufficient. According to scientists from the University of California, the premature closure of German nuclear power plants between 2011 and 2017 increased air pollution by 12%, resulted in an additional $10 billion in annual expenses, and caused an additional annual emission of 36 million tons of CO2. 4. Large protest in Prague against the Czech government's support for Ukraine. In Prague, up to 100,000 people have taken to the streets in protest against the Czech government and its support for Ukraine. Demonstrators claim that the support prolongs the war. They have formed a human chain around government buildings, calling for an end to what they see as Czech subservience to the United States and the European Union. According to the authorities, around 35,000 people attended the protest, which was organized by the extra-parliamentary PRO party. They are calling for the recovery of the Czech Republic and advocating for love and positive thinking. The protesters are demanding a meeting with the government to discuss rising costs, threatening a nationwide general strike if their demands are not met. Tensions were high during the protest, with some participants shouting, "Tear down that rag," in reference to the Ukrainian flag. This comes amid heightened tensions between the two countries, with many Czechs critical of their government's support for Ukraine. 5. The raised retirement age in France is sparking riots. France's Constitutional Council has approved a law to raise the retirement age from 62 to 64, which President Macron has now signed. This has reignited protests and riots. I already spoke about the retirement age increase in a video on March 31st. Starting in 2023, the retirement age will be raised by 3 months per generation, beginning with those born in 1961. New employees will be subject to the new threshold. Macron claims this will prevent a breakdown of the system. Clashes with the police have occurred in Paris, Lyon, and Nantes, with a police station entrance set on fire in Rennes. Garbage cans and parking lots have been set on fire, and special police units have intervened. Opposition leader Marine Le Pen promises to repeal the new law if she wins the next election. 6. Positive effects of intermittent fasting confirmed by scientists. Australian researchers from the University of Adelaide and South Australian Health and Medical Research Institute have found that a diet called intermittent fasting could significantly reduce the risk of diabetes. The diet involves eating during a specific time period, for example between 8 a.m. and 12 p.m. The key mealtime was found to be crucial. Participants who followed this diet 3 times a week had significantly better glucose tolerance after 6 months than those on a low-calorie diet. They were also more insulin sensitive and had a greater reduction in lipids in their blood. Weight loss was similar on both diets. It is estimated that about 60% of type 2 diabetes cases can be delayed or prevented by changing one's diet and lifestyle. 7. In Europe, the tourism industry is facing a dire situation. In 2019, tourism generated €572 billion, almost 5% of gross domestic product, in the European Union. The countries with the highest share were Croatia, 11%, Portugal, 8%, Spain, 7%, Italy, 6%, and Austria, 5%. However, in 2020, the number dropped by €184 billion, minus 32% year-over-year, for around half of the EU countries, with no data available for Greece, Cyprus, Malta, or Poland. The tourism industry was hit hardest by the pandemic, with tourism services down by 67%, aviation by 66%, and hospitality by 41%. The situation of European tourism is dire. 8. China and Brazil deepen cooperation and strengthen trade in their own currencies, bypassing the dollar. China and Brazil are deepening their cooperation and strengthening trade using their own currencies, bypassing the US dollar. This is the latest news from the BRICS zone, as I have previously discussed in my videos. To stay up, remember to subscribe to our channel. 15 agreements and memorandums were signed, covering areas such as agriculture, science, finance, and electronics, including the construction of a 6th satellite to monitor the Amazon and the development of 5G. Brazil has agreed to allow the construction of a Chinese semiconductor factory. This comes after a meeting between Brazilian President Lula da Silva and Xi Jinping in Beijing. They also conveyed that negotiations are the only way to end the war in Ukraine, and urged other countries to pressure for a political solution to the crisis. The countries are looking to strengthen the BRICS, which also includes Russia, India, and South Africa, and expand the group. Extra. I would like to show you a video of a horse protecting its owner from a cow during a calf's ear piercing. Thank you for your attention. See you tomorrow. Bye.